Hi, welcome back to the Creative Industry Insight podcast, a podcast that takes a look at various roles in the creative world. I'm your host, Bobby. Welcome back to the second part of the series finale with Matt Walker. Without further ado, let's jump straight back into the conversation. What have been your favourite ideas to execute? I know three that come to mind that I absolutely love. There's three videos that I absolutely love, but I think there's also a slight bias because I worked on two of them, and they've been but that's because it has been there were good days on set. The three that come to mind that I love is the Etta Bond fan babe video.
Yes.
I don't know. I think just the whole concept and idea of it is great. So
That was fun.
For the audience members, the whole concept of the video is the singer Etta kidnaps somebody she admires, or you could, in polite terms, stalks and wants to sort of basically Rupert Pumpkin-esque kidnapping. And it's just well shot and really nicely art directed, with the kidnap room being covered in, is it plastic bags or is it, I'm not sure.
It's like
some sort of clear plastic sheets around the whole
it's like
room.
dust sheets, like DIY dust sheets, or like Dexter the show, like the sheets that kind of stop all the blood from getting everywhere.
Yeah, and then the second video is Jamie's integrity.
Oh, nice.
That was the first time I met you, because I know we had interacted quite a lot, and I think the only reason I got that job is because I called your friend Chance. And basically, I called him really late, and I begged him to get him, do me a favor to get me onto that video, because I wasn't sure who it was going to be, but because I knew that we've interacted, I was just like, no, I want to be on there. Let's see what happens. Yeah. And I remember I thought I was late to the set, but I turned up and I was actually told I was 2 hours early. So I was basically kicked out of set, went to Starbucks, and then came back later on.
Gosh.
And then helped a lot out on that one, and I absolutely loved working on that. I think it's just the energy of in the room and how everything came together. And I know that you let me first AC, which I thought would never happen on the set, and liked it as well. I was like, do you know what you're doing? Yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then just sort of standing there thinking, okay, I think it goes here. Put it up confidently, man. And it's like, are you okay? Are you 100% sure? It's like, yeah. Everything I learned from uni is kicked back in, and looking at it, it's like, yeah, this looks really good. And it's just like, whoa. And then the third one is Scorcher's. What is it? Is it Work It? Is it? I think that's what it's called.
Work Get It.
Yeah, Work Get It. That's it. Sorry.
Yes. Nominated for mobile, I think.
And that was basically similar to sort of Kanye West's Click, but Kanye, if you're listening, skip the next bit. But I think it was better than that video.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, there's some good ones, man. Like, those were good moments. Those were like good set experiences, man. I think Etta Bond's amazing. I think Jamie's obviously amazing, and on What Getting It, that was just a good atmosphere, and it was really fun. And I think a lot of those, like, especially when everyone's just in that mode, man, that really good creative mode, I think that those experiences are always ones that I remember. You were asking me about what ideas, what my favorite to execute. You're saying.
Yeah, you're the favorite ones that you've executed.
That I've executed. A lot of them are Jamie videos, man. There are recent Jamie videos, like we did like 7 of them, and a lot of those videos are like live by JME. That Murky Ace, that one was just so, it took me back to so we had the idea, and we wanted to do this rolling news kind of idea where we had Jamie reporting on different news stories, and he's part of the news story, so like he plays different cast members, different group, and he plays different characters and stuff. And I like it because at the time, I was like, okay, cool, we need to hire this person, that person to do this. And then I realized as pre-production was going on that I was going to need like 3 days to shoot this. at least to get from place to place, location to location, to get all the cast and crew. I couldn't do it. It was either going to cost so much money to do it on one day, or I was going to have to split it up. But even if I split it up, I can't afford the crew for those 3 days because he didn't have the budget for that the way I wanted to do it. So I initially just ended up doing it all myself. I was my own DP. We produced it. We had the art director Benny. I forget his name. Benny though. His name's literally Benny. For the he built the new set. But we didn't have much crew. And it was me and Jay just going back to the essence and just running around town shooting with FS7s and that, and having just a lot of fun and putting it all together was sick. Just writing all the blurbs and the news stories and making it really comedic was amazing to execute, man. I think it looks like a news broadcast. It's really funny. It's got a lot of love. We premiered it in Everyman's Cinema, and it was like one of the videos that got the biggest response. And I will say that when you ask that question, it makes me think about things that times where I'll be in the editing suite and I'll be ecstatic about something. Because before I say 2019, before 2019, I've been away from these videos a little bit. I've done 10 months with Adidas doing a football series / documentary. I'd done the Skepta documentary. I hadn't been doing that much music videos, so I'd kind of missed that feeling of really executing a really sick creative idea. So the way I can indicate how much I loved it was just being in the edit suite and being excited. Because I hadn't felt that way for a long time. And sometimes when you do videos, and some videos I've had, they've been cool videos, and you edit them and they look all right, they look great, they tick all the boxes, but you're not wow, I haven't done that before, I haven't seen that before. That worked out exactly how I saw it in my head. I hadn't had that feeling for a long time. So the Jamie one is definitely one of those for live, and the Skepta Grease Mode one where we did it the 70s style blaxploitation concepts, and shooting that on 16mm. It was my third time on 16mm, but I really love 16mm. And just in my opinion, we really nailed that style, that blaxploitation 70s style. And there were certain moments lyrically that went with crash zooms that we'd scheduled in, and just in the edit suite, just being really happy with how it all turned out, man. That's definitely one of the my favorite ones. Apart from that, Skepta, Jamie. Oh, it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm trying to think about wasting too much time. I really liked Man Don't Care as well, because there's a moment in that video where he lights the mic on fire, and we didn't have many mics. We didn't have much lighting fluid. We didn't know where we was going to set the whole place alight. We didn't know what was going to happen once he did what he did, and we didn't have many takes to do it in. So
no health and safety, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, we did that scene where he takes the diploma, lights it on fire, and then uses the diploma to light up the mic. And the first one we didn't put enough light fluid in the microphone itself. For anyone that's not our department, so we're just doing it ourselves. We're just making it up as we go along. The second time we doused it, and when we doused it, it was like, oh man, it was all pretty apprehensive about what was going to happen. Was did too much or whatever, but I think we estimated it all right. Anyway, so that moment was sick, because when we did a slow dolly in as it happened, so it all had to be timed perfectly, and we haven't got many takes to do it. So when he's lit the diploma, he's lit the mic, the mic's kind of gone up a little bit, then the flame started to rise and light his face. Oh man, it was such a satisfying feeling for that to work exactly how I wanted it to work, man. So that was a great moment, and I did have it executed. So and that is our highest viewing video today. It was 52 million views, something like that. So yeah, that was really satisfying. So yeah, I probably have many more, but those are the ones that come to mind.
Do you ever feel humbled and proud when you see sort of the views on some of the videos and being like, yep, I did this? Like,
Yes, I do. I do less now, but definitely when I think at the start when there was a certain point where it was all about metrics, and it was all about views, all about getting to that million, breaking that million barrier was always like an achievement. So the first time I did that, I'm not sure what video it was for, but the first time I did that was really, it was a good feeling. Then it's like the law of diminishing returns, when it's like, okay, you've got a million, like, what was it a good video? I don't care how much, because there are so many videos that I've seen that I absolutely love, that are better than anything I could have ever done, that haven't got near the amount of views as one of my videos I've got, and that video is nowhere near as good as the one that I love. So views mean less to me than they did. I think just having successful execution and having people get what you was trying to achieve, people acknowledge what you was trying to achieve, is the reward that makes me feel the best. When people say, I really love that. Like, for example, on the sketch video, like, someone said, and it was a really just not a throwaway comment, but it was a really like cool comment. Nothing really about the craft of it, but they were like, that video looks like it was really fun to make, and just like hearing someone say that, is way more satisfying than the views. Someone like getting the essence of the video and the fun of it, and really understanding what I tried to undo there. Someone said that, oh, it's like a Tarantino film, and I was like, okay, that's nice to be put in that, to be compared in that light. So it shows that there's a style that I tried to execute, and I did execute it. And just executing what I set out to is probably the thing that gives me most satisfaction. And when the audience acknowledge that, that's like a really good feeling.
I know earlier you were mentioning, when you were talking about pitches, your agencies. How did you go about getting signed to agencies?
Oh, the first time I think I put a banner on promo news at Staple House, and that allows people to click on it and go to the website and see all your work and stuff. And I think it was, I'm going to say it was 2010 or 11 where I first signed to HSI, which was like a pretty big company at the time. And at that time, I was talking to some reps. I think I was asking them to sign me. So I would go on promo news. I would look for all the details of all the agents and the reps, and say, look, I'm a director. I've done this much work. Here's the links to my best work. I would love to talk about getting represented. And obviously, the first year or so, I wasn't getting any emails back. And then after the N-Dubs video, that's when I started to get emails back, and people who hadn't emailed me before, they would reply to the first email that I said like a year earlier. Be like, oh, Matthew, we've seen we've seen your work, coming for a chat, and So I had a few meetings with a couple of individual directors reps at first, and then I had one with HSI, and I like HSI. They had Joseph Khan on there at a point, which was like, oh my gosh, you got like one of the biggest directors of all time, like on the roster, so it would be good to be a part of that. So just having your name next to a big company at the time just felt like, it gives you validation. It's like, okay, I'm a director now. I can get jobs. Like I can do commercials. I can do this, I can do that. I'm a big time, not big time, but like I'm not small time anymore, because this big company wants me to be there, be on their roster. So yeah, it was a situation of sending out emails to people and then getting back to me when they felt I was ready. From there, that they shut down. I'm not sure what year it was when they shut down, because at the time, to be fair, I was bringing in a lot of my own work, and I still do. I still bring in a lot of my own work, so I don't see a reliance on production companies as much as I used to, or I don't perceive them as important as I used to. But they're still definitely important in terms of like breaking certain boundaries and breaking through certain doors that you're not able to yourself. Now it's like I don't focus too much on like who I'm with. It's like the work that I'm doing and what I can do to boost my own brand. But I'd say that I'm a well enough known name now that it doesn't matter what company that I'm with, kind of thing. It is what it is.
What's your ambition moving forward? Do you want to continue staying in commercials, music videos, and documentaries, or do you want to get to more narrative-based projects?
It's a good question. I've always wanted to do films, man, tell stories. If I could, a lot of pictures that I've written that I haven't got have all been narrative pictures. I love to try and tell a story if I can. I love films. I love stories. I love series. I love great performances by great actors. I like great scenes. I like when characters bounce off each other. I love the dynamics between characters. I love all of that stuff. So definitely my aim is to get more into narrative, and I say that now the lockdown, I've been writing for a long time. I even wrote when I was at HSI. I wrote a short film and I sent it to the HSI the HSI like film person, and I can't believe I sent that to them because it was a terrible script. Like I could not, like, how I've developed from then to now. I can't believe I sent them that script. Anyway, forget about that. I'm always writing, man. I'm always writing, and it's hard because when I've been busy. Or pre-lockdown, I was quite busy. So spending time to sit down and write my ideas out has been hard. But this lockdown has allowed me to get in touch with getting back to storytelling, getting back to writing. I've had like short film scripts that I've written but haven't polished. I've got feature stuff, I've got pilot stuff that I've been really working on because there's no other work on really. So it's allowed me to just delve into that side of what I want to do. So yeah, man, like my future is definitely in narrative and stories, man. Yeah, ideally, yeah, like going back to uni, going back to like that first uni thing, man. I'd love to be like the head, like director of like a major film. And to be fair, actually, maybe not a major film because I know the troubles that these big films can be for big directors. So even doing indie in a small but really good indie film would be amazing for me, man. Because I've got stories to tell. I think I have a voice, and yeah, this documentary, so this lockdown has allowed me to like find it more because I've had nothing else to really think about. So that's what I'm on, man. I'm watching masterclasses by Aaron Sorkin and David Mamet, reading Aristotle's Poetics. That's all I'm doing now, like literally just getting into that mode, man. Like, so yeah, I'll still do music videos and stuff, but and I have been over the past 5 years, be very selective over the things that I do, because there was a time, especially when you're new, when you say yes to everything, and sometimes you need to just say yes to the right things. And doing that has allowed me to think about more what I want to do, and that is definitely, yeah, cinema, films. Well, I think it's about getting an opportunity, I guess, and if not getting it, trying to create it yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I've got a few projects that I'm working on with some friends and other personal things. So God willing, I get a bit of money to make it myself. That's what I'll do.
When you have creative block or writer's block, is there any videos or films that you go back to sort of get that spark back and to sort of get over the hump?
Ooh, that's a good question. It depends what I'm trying to achieve. If I am trying to, like, for example, writer's block, it depends. If there's a video that I'm trying to write about and I'm trying to, like, it's a narrative piece, then there are certain videos that I will watch just to get me in the mood. Because what I realize about myself is that I'm inspired by how something makes me feel. So I wrote a script. I basically wrote a story on the bus, in a cab after I watched Gone Girl. Gone Girl was like, it just made me feel a certain way. It was such an engrossing, like, diabolical twist in like story that I was like, oh my gosh, it's made me, I couldn't describe how it made me feel, but I wanted to write something from that feeling, if you know what I'm saying. So I wrote this script about, someone, basically it's a script about you perceiving the danger to be one thing, but it's actually something else. And I wrote it all in a cab. I think it was about a cab journey actually. And because I was just feeling that way, I just wrote a story, and I've written a script, and that's there it's in my script file, script folder right now. So yeah, it's something that makes me feel a certain way. Like one video that I really like is Territory by oh, what are they called? That's so terrible. The music video is called Territory. I forget who the artist is, but it's an amazing music video. And I felt that I'm the only person who likes it. But it's just about these. It's about these. It's about this. I think it's Algerian family. It's about this guy who comes home after a long absence. Maybe he went to jail. You're not quite sure, but it's about him reconnecting with his people, his family, and it's just the most amazing, touching thing that I've seen for ages. So that will get me. If I'm talking about a narrative, something heartfelt, something emotional, that's what I'll get to like start those fires. Or there's a lot of time where I used to watch a lot of Romain Gavras's stuff. I'm saying his name really wrong probably, but I thought Bad Girls a lot. Bad Girls used to just inspire me because that was like, I saw that video when it first came out. I was like, this video is the video of the year. Okay, what comes out after this? MIA Bad Girls is the music video of the year. I don't care.
Is that the one where the cars, yeah, and then I think they're like in a desert or somewhere.
In a desert, yeah, and it's just incredible. And not that I want to do, because obviously there's a lot of people who try to like copy that video afterwards, yeah, but it was the feeling that it gave me, that spectacle, that wow factor. I want to do something like this that makes me feel this way. So writer's block is just about being inspired. And yeah, I do have like a Vimeo folder where I've saved certain videos that are like either visually really inspire me or just emotionally inspire me. And it's not even about like the idea itself, it's just about the feeling that it gives me. And that will normally spark me, because a lot of my inspiration comes from like jealousy, in a sense. It's like, I wish I did that. I've got to do better than that. I've got to up that. And then it will stop fires in me. It's like a competitive, it's like a competitive thing sometimes. I feel like sometimes when I'm writing a treatment and nothing's got me angry or stopped up, like, shit, man, I wish I did that, I'm slacking, I should have thought of that idea, or I could have done that, or things like that actually make me write really good treatments, because it's a feeling. It's not an idea, it's not a concept, it's just a feeling. It's very hard to explain, but
one of the sort of last few questions I have is, to you, what makes a good music video?
Jeez, what makes a good music video? Okay, one of the rules that I have nowadays, I am not enjoying music videos the way I used to. Mainly because most of my favorite music video directors have gone off and done commercials now, and they're not coming back anytime soon. So, but the ones that do really inspire me, and the ones that I think are really good are, one, it needs to have 3 sections. So one of the things that I do, because when I'm scrolling for stuff here, or I see a new artist, a new video out, what I do first of all is I scroll through the timeline on YouTube, and what it'll do, it'll give you thumbnails of the images of the frames of the video, and if the frame hasn't changed, if the type of frame that I'm seeing hasn't changed halfway through the video, I know it's just going to be a repetition of shots from the same performance scene, so I'm not going to watch the video because it hasn't progressed. So I think a good video needs to have progression and layers, or at least add new elements each time. You can't be reusing the same footage over and over again because it just gets boring. It needs to have like a first act, second act, third act, even if that means you're incorporating different performance scenes later on in the video. Like, there's one thing I can't stand. I can't stand when music videos blow their load in the first minute and a half, where I've seen everything there is to see in the first minute and a half. I don't see any more. There's nothing surprising, which is why I really loved the Kendrick Lamar videos when they came out for his album Damn. Is that his videos always they grew and grew and grew and added more elements as they got in, so they were always surprising you. And I think that is one thing that I think makes a good video. Like, you need to surprise your audience and keep giving them more, and give them a payoff. Like, start slow and then build up, and to a climax. I think that's always a good video, of a good performance video as well. Almost a good video for me also personally, for me, the aesthetics, the lighting, depending on what type of video it is, if it's a narrative video, I am a sucker for filmic, cinematic aesthetics. Things that are shot on anamorphics they always draw me in for a bit longer than other videos, just because this guy, he's whoever made videos actually thought about, he wants to make something cinematic, so hopefully the content will be cinematic and not just the lenses, so there is that. I think the aesthetics like generally need to be, for me, to draw me in, they need to be like on point. If not that, then the concept needs to be so sick. The concept needs to be so new and original and wow me. Oh, like how the hell did they do that? A lot of times I'll watch a video, and if I see a video that there's a technique that I see in the video and I can't figure it out, I'll spend my entire day rewatching the video to find out how they did X technique. I just want to see how it works. I like having my mind blown, but I also like knowing what was behind it. Just being a director, But yeah, when you get those mind blowing ideas, man, that always, those are harder to do. I can't just tell you to have a mind blowing idea, but that is what makes a good video for me. Like a really strong concept that hopefully goes with the song and complements the song. Some videos have good concepts, but they don't complement what I'm listening to. I think that is also a big thing. I think because it's not just a film, it's not just a vanity project for the director. It is a music video for the music fans, and I think that is one thing that needs to be. Example, Territory, this film that this music video that I like. Sorry, I've got to find who made it, because I don't want to shout them out without giving them the proper acknowledgement, man. Territory by. Sorry if I'm taking your time.
It's good. No, go for it. It's important to credit the person.
By The Blaze. Territory by The Blaze, yeah. The reason why I love it even more, there's one scene in it that I always go back to, and so the music video is like shot like a short film. It's all slow motion. It's quite cinematic. It looks like it's from a film. It doesn't feel like a short film. But there's one section in the film where the movement is choreographed exactly to the music, and it's almost it stands out because the whole video just feels like a film. It's got long shots, and it's quite meandering and very emotional. But there's one bit. It's a one shot where the guy, he's telling a story, but he's telling a story about maybe how he fought some people off in jail or how to fight. He's shadowboxing, and when he's shadowboxing, each punch goes with the music, and it shocks me because I was like, oh my gosh, like it's a film, but it's choreographed, and it just blew my mind. I was like, this is so amazing, because they thought about, okay, they wanted to be in a multi film, but they also remembered it is a music video, so we're gonna do something musical in it. It's not a dance, but it's choreographed movement, and it only happens once. And that one time it happened, it's enough. It's enough, and it's an amazing moment. And things like that don't happen very often. So yeah, making sure that it has something to do with the music is extremely important. Those are my things.
What advice would you give to people starting out and trying to sort of carve a career in directing music videos and documentaries and commercials?
Oh, how do you do it without the cliche of just go and do it? Just go and shoot something. With music, I feel like it's super important, and each director is going to have their own story. So my story is not another director's story or how they came up. I always think trying to introduce yourself to musicians and artists, and trying to meet as much people as you can on set as well. Get on sets and get into places where you can meet up and coming artists, where you can advertise yourself and link up with them, because there are so many artists right now. I feel like the turnover with new artists is so rapid that your next door neighbor might start a career in music, and then he's on YouTube getting 10 million views like on Wednesday. I feel like, for me, for example, a lot of my success comes from like relationships that I've had, and people that I've met, and also just not being bad at what I do. Like do as much as you can to develop your craft, and watch as much stuff as possible, man. Watch as much stuff as possible. Like, that's not one thing that I learned in uni, man. You gotta watch. Know what you like, know why you like it, know how to do it. In terms of like making it, there's no real advice I can give in terms of like how you can get to where I got, or how you can get to where this person got, because their roots are totally the same. All I can advise people on is how to get better at your craft. And one thing is just watch the best, understand why people do what they do, understand about lenses, about lighting, about what creates certain lighting, about how to light in a studio, how to light in a. There's so much resources online right now that it's hard not to know everything about it. You know, there's endless resources about how to become not I say skilled in filmmaking. I'd say get on set a lot, like you did. You like when you came to meeting me, like you asked someone to get on set, to get on a specific set. And I think a lot of people I did a talk for Instagram about like a little workshop, and I just told the class, look guys, obviously we're all here, you all have a desire to be in the filmmaking industry, and I would say, guys, if you want to, I'm always open, my door's always open, come and email me. I always have jobs going on. If you want to come on set and run or just see how it works, to be fair, no. Whenever you come on set, you have to do a job. So if you want to come on set and get experience, my door's always open. I'm not always going to reply to you, but if you bug me, then I won't forget you. You know what I'm saying? I won't take it personally either if you bug me, and there was like a class of 15, and I think 2 of those people kept emailing me, kept DMing me on Instagram. And at first, there was no jobs going, so I didn't get back to them about what to do. They kept getting onto me, and then eventually I was like, oh, I need a runner for a Jamie video. And they were down, they were available, they come down on set, and they've been to like loads of my sets now. But those guys will go far because they were just non-stop, they were relentless. They got on set, they met the crew, that they spoke to every department, because sometimes you might think you want to be a director, and then you might hear how much a gaffer earns, and you might be, oh, well, I don't want to do that anymore. you might find out you want to be a director of photography instead of a director. You might find out you want to be in the art department. So I think getting on set as much as possible is super important, man. Super important. And I think that's a really good way to just get your foot into it. How you meet artists, how you meet prospective clients, it's an art form that I don't think I even have the skill. I'm lucky, but I'll definitely say, meet as much people in the industry that you want to be a part of. And it's not hard, man. As long as you're persistent, it's not hard to get on a set, man. I've got so much examples of that with people that I've worked with who have gone super far from just bugging me to get on a set with me, and they did, and then they've gone and done amazing things. So yeah, man, that's what I'd say, man.
My final question that I want to ask before I throw up to you with to close it with 2 questions for me is how has it been as a black man navigating through the industry?
How has it been as a black man navigating through the industry? That is a good question. I will say, and I've been saying this to a few of my contemporaries, is that early on in my career, it did feel like, and it probably was the case, that there wasn't many black directors doing what I was doing that I could look at compared to white directors. It was like it felt like 50-1 in terms of ratio, and that always made me feel like when you're doing like, say for example, urban videos, because I feel like you feel like you're pigeonholed because you're black sometimes. Doing the rap videos, you don't necessarily get the pictures for the pop videos or the rock videos that you may have a real interest in, but your face doesn't say that on the surface. So sometimes you feel like you are pigeonholed. Other times you feel like sometimes you're in competition with other black directors for black director jobs. So sometimes you feel like you're fighting against your contemporaries for a small pool of work because the other work is not available to you. So it's hard. It's hard. I try. I feel like if I always thought about my race when going into jobs or going into situations, I wouldn't get very far because I would be really apprehensive. I would definitely feel like a chip on my shoulder. Like I feel like the world was against me if I thought about it too much. When I look at the representation in the industry, it doesn't make for great reading. It doesn't make for great reading in commercials. It doesn't make for great reading in music videos. And the facts are there. The facts are clear when it comes to the representation in terms of like how many directors there are in the industry, how many of them are signed to actual agencies or production companies. There are not many, and how much of them are really, really succeeding and really doing well. Like, I don't know many black directors who are really killing it in commercials right now. I know a few, but I feel like there are a lot more people who are capable than there are actually doing it. So yeah, it's something that I live with. It's something that's always in the back of my mind when I'm going for jobs or having meetings. I've been relatively successful, but again, a lot of that has been through people that I know personally. So I don't know whether it's like whether I'm being held back by anything or just or you know, prejudice or bias or whatever. But you know, there are some stats out there that maybe suggest that, you know, things aren't great for us in terms of like getting the big jobs, signing with these big industries, big companies, and getting these big commercials and stuff. I think there is definitely a discrepancy there, and I definitely think we're underrepresented. But it's something that you just have to deal with, man. Like I stay relatively positive because again, if I really thought about it too much and really thought about the numbers and all the stats, I wouldn't be as calm as I am. But you know, you crack on, you try and get through it, and you try and support people, man. And what I tend to do myself is I like to, as much as I can, I like to encourage people of color, black people, to try and get on set, man. To like there are loads of jobs out there. And I try and hire staff. I try and look out for people of color who work in the industry and get them on my set, so I can see more people. Like, you know, because a lot of sets, and it's just a matter of fact, a lot of the sets that we're on are, the majority is white people. That's just a fact, you know. And the little I can do, you know, is promote some of the really amazingly talented black and ethnic crew members, you know, that are out there, you know, like guys like Aaron Reed, Olan, Meji. There's so many talented people out there, and I just want more. Of them, because I think the more people see themselves represented, the more they'll be inspired to get into the industry. You know, I think if you don't see yourself, then you're not gonna want to be that, you know, or you're not gonna think that you can. So yeah, it's hard. I hope it gets better. I think things are changing a little bit. I think more attention is being brought to it. I guess time will tell whether, you know, all of the positive talk will result in any meaningful action.
Now it's your turn to take the floor and
Okay.
ask me with 2 questions.
I have one question for you. The first one is, I'm someone who I have favorite films. But more than that, I have a lot of favorite scenes in films. Favorite scenes where you see two great actors bouncing off of each other, or even one great actor just delivering, you know, a really great performance in a specific scene or a moment in a film. One that I would always go to when it comes to like great scenes in movies is in No Country for Old Men, where Sugar is talking to the gas station attendant and tells him to flip a coin, and that coin would decide his fate. And the scene is so amazing. I want to ask you if if you have any, what are your favorite scenes, or do you have a favorite scene in a film that stands out?
Oh wow! I wish I prepped for this one.
Top of your head. I mean, you might have a better one later on, but
Do you know what? I think the one that comes to my mind straight away is probably the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I guess it's just everything about the scene where you have Christian Bale and Heath Ledger kind of sparring, and you see the duality of, okay, Joker is anarchy, Batman is trying to keep the peace, and then Joker just flips it and gives him it gives him a choice of who to save.
Save, yeah,
And
that's
then
amazing.
it's like, okay, so who are you going to save? Are you going to save someone for Bruce Wayne, or are you going to save somebody for the city? And
Yes.
it's just that, and not just that, it's also the Hans Zimmer score of the Joker theme, where it's just that sort of weird noise in the background that slowly starts to build up. And once you know the realization of what's happened, it just becomes like a deafening sound. And
That's
I think
amazing
that
to me.
really works. And I think also another scene is in Heat, when Al Pacino turns up at the dockyards with his police crew, thinking that they're on to Robert De Niro. But they've all
Yes.
been but they've all been sort of, actually, they're the ones that have been targeted, and they're the
Yes,
ones who
yes,
are being cased. And
yes.
it's
I
just
love
like,
that.
it's just that sort of mic drop, oh shit moment, where, you know what, that we thought we were the people leading the chase, but we've been the
Yeah.
ones who've been caught. We were the
Yeah. It's when he
just chasing a
realizes
tail.
that he has a formidable opponent. He's like,
Yeah,
okay, like this guy's are serious.
and there's certain scenes in that film as well that make sense. That like he used to work undercover. That's why he's always so like jittery and always just like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? And he's just like, okay, like, and it makes sense when he has so much sort of knowledge about these guys and all these sort of criminals. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
great film. I might watch that tonight, actually.
I watched that. I watched that like maybe it was during lockdown. I watched that. Definitely during lockdown. I watched that. I rewatched that. Great film. Great film. Okay. Are you ready for my second question?
Yeah, hit me.
Second question is actually no. Yeah, because there's something. There's things I want to find out about you actually. How? I mean, I don't think you do this in a short version, but how has your since we met? How has your progress through the industry been? And are you like? Do you feel like you are where you want to be, or is there more? Like, is there more? Do you have higher ambitions?
So when did I meet you? It must have been 2014,
Yeah,
roughly
that would have been
then.
a year. Yeah.
So that's 6 years ago, blimey. Since then, I was still working on music videos for 2014 until September, and then I
Mm-hmm.
got offered a job in accounts on Bond, which I
Mm-hmm.
took.
Mm-hmm.
I necessarily didn't want to do a job in accounts, but it was a way into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it was probably the best. Those 13 months were the best lessons to learn, and understanding that how the industry works and how important that side is.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at anything creative, you always think about, oh my gosh, look how cool this is, or look how cool that is. But
Mm-hmm.
people forget that there's so many people behind the scenes working away and making sure that that shot gets done, or
Yeah.
that we are paid, that location has been paid to be used.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst working in accounts, because I was working with people who'd worked on many bonds before and they had been there for years, you pick up certain things on how they deal with certain situations and people, and then that
Mm-hmm.
sort of helps you push on onto other jobs. It kind of
Yeah.
snowballed again with accounts, because once you get that first job, it's really difficult to know how to get a second job as a freelancer,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
you don't. It's usually word of mouth, and somebody's like, what do you think of this person? Yeah, he's good. Hire
Mm.
him. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
he's not great, but he'll have a good attitude and he'll make you a good cup of tea. And they're like, cool, you're hired.
Yeah.
And then in 2017, that year, I wanted to move into production department, because that's everything that I was doing in music videos and organizing. And what I said to myself is, I give myself a year. If I can't do it, then I'm going to move back to accounts and then just
Mm-hmm.
keep steadily working and then see what happens. And in the first month, I think I got 2 jobs. One was to cover someone on a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Oh wow!
Which was incredible because he popped into our office the year before to scout the office location. And I remember the runner was the biggest fan, and I had to walk past him, and I said, "Dude, when you look up, play it cool." He looks, and he's like, "Why? Like, why do I need to play it cool?" And like, PTA's there. It's like, "Who's PTA? Parents Teachers Association." I was like, no, it's PTA. He's like, "Who PTA?" And he looks up. They both meet eyes, and his jaw just drops, and you could literally hear it thud onto the desk. And he walks past. I'm like, "Oh no, that's like the worst reaction."
I had it because Nolan, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just he just had that worst reaction. And then I got another job on London Fashion Week on a Sky job, and I took liberties on that job because I'm a very chatty person. So I talked to the organisers at London Fashion Week, and they let us into certain shows, but our badges only restricted us to one room. But we managed to go to different locations. So we managed to go to the Tate and record the whole fashion show, and no one stopped us. And I just thought, well, can't believe I chanced that. And we went to various other locations. Well, we're not supposed to film, but we filmed anyway.
Oh shit!
And then,
see, that's good, man. Being chatty, that's good, man. That's good. It's a good trait to have.
Yeah. I remember talking to one person, and then we walked past them the next day, like, "Hey, did you get your badges?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, And it's like, "Oh, do you want to come in? You don't have to queue." And it was just like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do this." Yeah, and then you kind of just walk through, and you just think, "Oh no, hopefully they don't find out that I'm some con artist or something." Or something. It's just like blag their way in.
You gotta blag it, man. Sometimes, man. That's a lot of. That's a lot of it, isn't it? Just blagging it.
Yeah, and then there was another. And then I took another job in accounts because it had all dried up, and I was a bit worried. And I think when you're at that sort of age, you need to, even though you've been taking risks, just play it safe. And I did one job, and I had 2 weeks left in the contract, and I had an interview in production and another job. That would have been a 6 or 7 month contract. And I remember telling my boss that I've got another job interview, that I really want to take this job. And my interview was on Wednesday, but they didn't know that. And on the Monday before, they said, "Okay, at the end of the day, I need you to decide, are you with us or are you with them?" So that whole Monday, I was kind of just like scrolling through, and I was getting a bit of like, and I didn't know what to do. And I just thought, you know what? The question came, and my boss said, "So what is it? Are you with us or are you with them?" And I said, "I'm with them." And I went to the interview knowing, okay, at the end of the week, I could have a new job, or I could not. I'll have no job. So I went to the interview. I think it took me like an hour and a bit. So I had enough time to psych myself up and be like, "Okay, cool. I've got this. I walk in, I meet the production manager and line producer. We get talking, and I think it was only supposed to be for half an hour. And then 90 minutes later, I leave.
Oh wow!
I go back to the office and just go about my day and everything. And I'm just thinking, I still have that in the back of my mind. Or, oh no, like what happened? It might not get back to me. But I think more because I was late to work that day, I had so much work to catch up with, so it kind of went off my mind. And then I got a phone call, and the production manager said, "We really wanted to make you sweat and call you on tomorrow, but I thought that'd be a bit too cruel. But we would like you to offer the position to start Monday." And it was just like,
hey,
it was just one of those moments where you just thought, wow, like I can't believe, it just felt crazy. Like it's such a huge risk. It wasn't even calculated. It was just, do you know what? Screw it. I'll do it.
It's ballsy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just went in and did it. And then from there, it's kind of picked up and snowballed. And I've slowly started moving up. What to do in the future? I would like to continue moving up, and I'd like to see what happens. I take it on a production by production basis, because because some of these jobs are so long, I want to make sure that I want to make sure that if I go for a role that's where I'm promoted, I want to make sure that I go in with, I know my stuff, because there's nothing worse than taking a new role and just looking like an idiot, not knowing what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. It's brilliant, man. It's brilliant, man. Get some sick stuff, bro.
But yeah, it's all slowly building up. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to get back to work and build on that.
As we all are. I can't wait myself. I'm finishing up my scripts, and then I'm like you. I'm just like, I'm ready to do a job soon. A nice creative outlet. Again,
don't know where it happens, and hopefully if I have some spare time and you need someone, I can always slide into those DMs and be...
My DMs are always open, man. They're always open, man. You get me? So
I'll keep that in mind. Matt, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
It's been great. I really enjoyed this. It's been really interesting as well.
Glad. It was good, man. It was nice to get some of the stuff.
Yeah,
I
know you're a bit worried about waffling on, but sometimes with these things, like, the perfect thing is to waffle, because then you get everything out. I can make notes, and there's so much there's so much gold that comes out sometimes, so you can't.
Amazing.
You can't go wrong.
Hopefully someone will get inspired by this. That's my main aim in everything, just to inspire someone.
I'm sure there will be people there. Don't you worry. I'll push it on.
Sick.
Thank you again. Take care. Thank you, bro. Stay safe.
See you later.
And keep up with the writing and the good work.
I will, man. You too. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. There won't be a new episode next week, as we're taking a short break as we prepare for Season 2. But stay tuned, and thank you for all your support for Season 1.